Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Twin Rivers Opportunity Section 8 briefing. We are located at 318 Craven Street, New Bern, North Carolina. My name is Annie Waterton, Housing Coordinator, Section 8 Supervisor. This is a two-part briefing. The first part, I will cover the rules and regulations and all required forms. The second part will be covered by Mrs. Conetta Jones, Occupancy Specialist. She will speak to you on portability, vouchers, bedroom sizes, and what you need to do to become leased up on the Section 8 program. Please pay close attention as this briefing will answer most of all questions you may have concerning our program. Please follow along with me with the sheet that was mailed to you titled Section 8 Program Briefing. Are you ready? Let's begin. Letter A, TRO's responsibility. Number 1, it is our responsibility to do an initial inspection at lease-up. If you move into the unit before our inspection, you, the tenant, is responsible for the rent until it passes our inspection. Number 2, it is our responsibility to make rental payments on the tenant's behalf. Based on your income, we will pay a portion or all of the rent. Number 3, it is our responsibility to make interim adjustments due to income and family size changes. Please, no phone calls or letters. A change form is located at the front desk. Forms are currently located outside on the wall until the office reopens. Number 4, it is our responsibility to make sure that the owner and tenant keep up both ends of the contract. Number 5, we will not approve a unit if the owner is related to any member of the family, all relatives included. Number 6, it is our responsibility to determine rent reasonableness, 40%, family rent burden, and proof of ownership. Letter B, family's responsibility. Number 1, it is your responsibility to know your lease, read it carefully, and understand its contents. Number 2, it is your responsibility to report all income coming into the household from all sources. Number 3, it is your responsibility to report all changes in the family income and household composition in writing within 10 calendar days of the change, along with the documented proof of these changes. Change forms are located on the wall outside of the building. Decreases should be reported by the 5th of the month in order for rent to be adjusted the following month. Increases should be reported after you receive 1 month's verification. If paid bi-weekly, we need 2 pay stubs. If paid weekly, 4 pay stubs. If paid monthly, work the job 2 months and we will need 2 check stubs. Change forms are located at the front desk. Currently, they are located outside on the wall until the office reopens. It is number 4. It is your responsibility to take care of the unit by performing the following tasks on a regular basis. Clean interior and exterior of unit, including rooms, halls, yard, porches, etc. Clean appliances, stove, refrigerator, etc. Mop floors and shampoo the carpet. Wash walls, window sills, screens, windows, etc. Mow lawn, rake the leaves, and clean the gutters. Number 5, it is your responsibility to leave the faucet dripping and keep enough heat in the unit in the winter to prevent pipes from bursting if freezing temperatures are forecasted. Number 6, For your safety, secure windows and doors. Number 7, you are responsible for paying all security deposits to the owner and the utility company. Number 8, it is your responsibility to report and or repair all damages. Letter A, you are responsible for any damages made, caused by you, household members, or guests. All repairs must be completed prior to TRO coming for inspection. Letter B, you may make the repairs yourself, directly pay the landlord for the repairs, or have some other qualified person make the repairs. You and the landlord will agree upon a time frame for completion. Letter C, if your unit fails the inspection, you will be given a date to complete the repairs. You must notify the agency in writing that the repairs are completed by the due date. If the inspector does not receive a letter by the due date, you may be terminated from the Section 8 program. If there are repairs that you or your guest did not cause, contact your landlord and give him or her a reasonable time to complete the repairs before notifying our office. Do not allow minor repairs to become major repairs. Letter D, it is your responsibility to keep scheduled appointments, inspection, and recertification. Recertification packets are mailed 2 weeks before they are due back in our office. Failure to return the packets may result in termination from our program. Letter E, it is your responsibility to maintain a good business relationship with your landlord. If your landlord take you to court and receive possession of the unit, you will be terminated from our program. Number 9, it is your responsibility to provide the agency TRO with required verifications when requested. Verification of income, household composition, birth, marriage certificate, child care expenses, social security cards, child care payment, medical payments, and other related documents which determine your eligibility. Letter C, rent. It is your responsibility to pay your rent in a timely manner to keep rent current and to avoid late fees. Do not pay cash unless you get a written receipt. You may be terminated from the program if your rent payments do not stay current. Letter D, occupancy. It is your responsibility as the head of the household must include all members of the household living in the unit on the lease agreement. Any changes in household composition must be reported to TRO and the landlord within 10 calendar days. Failure to comply constitutes fraud and may result in termination for eligibility and criminal charges. Number 2, inspectors and owners will check for evidence of fraudulent behavior. Letter E, fraud. The following constitutes fraud: not reporting all household members living in the unit, not reporting all sources of income, not living in the unit on a regular day-to-day basis, paying side agreements to the landlord other than contracted rent. Number 2, report fraud by contacting TRO, contacting the landlord. Letter F, disturbances. Choose your friends carefully because you are responsible for their behavior and or any damages that may occur as a result of their behavior. If there is a disturbance, noise by you or them, it is a violation of your lease agreement and may result in termination and or your ability to relocate. Number 2, do not loiter or allow your household members or guests to loiter around the unit. Termination. Grounds for terminations by TRO or your landlord include: number one, violation of one or more substantial lease agreements, criminal activity by any household member involving crimes of physical violence and or drug activity, failure to pay on time or non-payment of rent, failure to pay for tenant-caused damages, permitting unauthorized persons to occupy the unit, serious or repeated interference with the rights of other tenants, program violation, giving false information to TRO and or the landlord, poor housekeeping habits, not keeping the unit in clean living conditions, failure by the tenant to accept the new lease, using unvented space heaters as your primary heating source, communicating threats to a TRO employee. Number two, the landlord decides to sell the property. No, if your landlord's rent is abated because of failure to comply with inspection policy, repairs not reported as completed in a timely manner, or fails to complete in a timely manner, you are only responsible for your portion of the rent. You, the tenant, is responsible to understand all the rules and guidelines listed. With that said, I would need for the head of the household, where it says signature of head of household and date, I will need you to sign and date. Basically, you are signing and dating that you are responsible for the guidelines and rules that I have just went over with you. Moving right along, I will now go over some of the forms with you and some tools that we have included in your packet to help you along. The first tool that we included in your packet is called Question and Answers on Fair Housing. The second tool that we included in your packet is Question and Answers on Renting Residential Real Estate. The next tool is Question and Answers on Tenant Security Deposit. We also have included Protect Your Family from Lead in Your Home. We also have included if you are a victim of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking, and alternate documentation. We have included our application if that is something that you are, if you are a victim of domestic violence, you fill this form out, return it to the office, and we will give you further instructions after we receive it. Also, we included in your packet applying for HUD's housing assistance. Think about it, is fraud worth it? That's the HUD form 1141. Now, we will now begin to fill out the forms. First of all, this says that I have received a copy of each of the pamphlets listed below and accept responsibility for reading and understanding the information therein. I will share this information with my family and household members. Protect your family from lead in your home, fair housing, renting residential real estate, tenant security deposit. Where it says signature and date of recipient, I will need the head of the household to sign and date. The next form that you have is the HUD form 5382, certification of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking was discussed. A copy was given to me this day. I will need you to write the date that you received this packet, and where it says head of household, I will need you to sign and date it. The next form that you will have to fill out is called the HUD Form 1141. Applying for HUD assistance, think about it. Is fraud worth it? It says a copy was given to me this day. I will need you to write the date that you received it. Where it says head of household, I need you to sign it and date it. And then where it says signature of applicant, I need you also to sign it and date it. Housekeeping basics were explained to me. I understand that I must keep my unit and its surroundings clean and in good living condition. I understand that failure to do so can result in termination from this program. I need you to date it, and then where it says head of household, sign it that you received it. The next form that you have in front of you is called the Family Information Sheet. I need you to print your name and date it at the very top. Number 1, I understand that I may be terminated in 30 days if my utility, water, sewer, electricity, and gas are disconnected because this is a violation of HUD policy as the unit would no longer meet HUD's housing quality standards. I need you to initial that you do understand. Number 2, the obligations of family and grounds for termination of assistance because of my family's action or failure to act have been explained to me. I need you to initial. Number 3, I understand that unvented space heaters as a heating source is a violation of federal regulation. Initial. Number 4, I understand that I'm required to report any changes in my situation within 10 days of the change. Initial. Number 5, I understand that a decrease in income is required to be reported in writing, all paperwork completed by the 5th of the month in order for TRO to pay an increased share of the rent the first of the following month. Initial. Number 6, do you or anyone in your family require special accommodations in order to fully utilize our program or service? If yes, complete and attach a reasonable accommodation form. You check yes or no. Do you pay child care expenses? Yes or no. Number 8, do you pay medical expenses? No, this pertains to elderly, disabled families only. Yes or no. 9, are you or anyone in your household in a job training program? Yes or no. Number 10, is anyone in your household subject to lifetime sex offender registration requirement? If so, whom? Yes or no. Number 11, do you or anyone in your household currently receive food stamps? Yes or no. Number 12, I would like to port, move, stay in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County. Yes or no. 13, I understand that I am allowed to move once a year after giving a 30-day written notice to move. Yes or no. I acknowledge that I have been informed of my portability rights under the HUD Section 8 voucher program. Portability, if you, the tenant, wish to port, you can port your Section 8 anywhere in the United States of America as long as there is a Section 8 office. If you signed up for Section 8 in outside of Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County, you may port your Section 8. If you signed up in another state, then you cannot port your Section 8 until for a year. I also have been informed that the agency cannot approve a unit if the owner is the parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, sister, or brother of any other member of the family. Please sign and date. Notice to applicants, recipients concerning lead-based paint. Please read it, sign, and date. The next form that we will go over is called the Section 8 Family Certification Form. Number 1 and 3 have already been circled for you. Where it says date, I will need you to write in, put the date. Number of bedrooms will be discussed with you by Ms. Conetta Jones. I need you to check the box that says regular. Then I need you, if you are 62 or older, you need to check that box. If you're disabled, check that box. If it does none of those apply to you, then you would check none. If you ported in from another state, then you will write the state that you ported in from. Then where it says address and phone number, please fill in your full address and a current phone number. Household composition lists all persons, regardless of age, who will be living in the home, beginning with the head of household. Each box must be completed, each family household member. No one except those listed on this form may live in the unit. Beginning with number 1, the head of the household. U.S. citizen, yes or no. Disabled, yes or no. Sex, male or female. Date of birth, social security, or alien registration number. The next one, you can check your race. If more than one applies to you, then you would check however many boxes that apply to you. Total household income lists all monies earned or received by everyone living in your household. This includes money from wages, self-employment, child support, contributions, Social Security, disability payment, SSI, workers' compensation, retirement benefits, TANF, veterans benefit, rental property income, stocks, dividends, income from bank accounts, alimony, and all other sources. Starting with number 1, name of household member, total income amount, pay frequency, hours, work a month, name of employer, child support amount, Social Security, SSI, other income. Information about the assets of all household family members. Do you or any family household member own or have access to something of value that can be converted to cash, such as real estate property, land, buildings, stocks, bonds, insurance policies, cash value, inheritance, pensions, IRAs, trust funds, etc.? If so, list them below. If you do not have any, you may draw a big 0 and put a line through it. Family household deductions, child care expenses for children aged 12 or younger, medical expenses for disabled family members, care provider or parent fee agency. List minor's name, the agency's name, the address, phone number, and monthly amount. Medical expenses, these apply if the head, spouse, or co-head is 62 years or older or is disabled, and pay for the following: family member's name, care providers or parent fee agency, medical bill payment, pharmacy bill payment, medical insurance premium, medical equipment payment, other medical expense, business address, phone number, monthly amount. Residential history lists all states in which you or any household member has resided as an adult. North Carolina is already listed. If you have resided in New York, Chicago, please list them there. Any other state. Lifetime sex offender registration requirements is anyone in your household subject to lifetime sex offender registration requirements. Yes or no? Certification of applicant. Please read the following statement. Warning, Title 18, Section 8, 1001 of the United States Code states that a person is guilty of a felony for knowingly and willingly making false or fraudulent statements to any department or agency of the United States and shall be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned for not more than 5 years or both. Where it says signature of head of household, sign and date, signature of spouse or co-head, sign and date, signature of other adult household members, sign and date, signature of other adult household members, sign and date. Certification of PHA and TRO representative. Our next form is called the emergency contact form. It says here that you have the right by law to include as part of your application for housing the name, address, telephone number, and other relevant information of a family member, friend, or social health advocacy or other organization. This contact information is for the purpose of identifying a person or organization that may be able to help in resolving any issues that may arise during your tenancy or to assist in providing any special care or services you may require. You may update, remove, or change the information you provide on this form at any time. You are not required to provide this contact information, but if you choose to do so, please include the relevant information on this form. Applicant's name, your mailing address, telephone number, cell phone number, name of additional contact person, their address, phone number, cell phone number, relationship to the applicant. The first two boxes have been checked for you. Check this box if you choose not to provide the contact information. Please sign and date the form at the bottom where it says signature of applicant and date. The next thing that we have, I need you to, it's a housing department form. I need you to date it, your name, address, city, state, and zip code. The information provided below is accurate to the best of my knowledge. Providing false information will result in my being denied permission to participate in the Section 8 program. I do or do not owe another PHA any funds. I do or do not owe another housing authority any funds. Signature and date of applicant. The next form that you have in front of you is a consent form. This is what we call a release of information. So it says, I consent to allow HUD or the housing authority to request and obtain income information from the sources listed on this form for the purpose of verifying my eligibility and level of benefits under HUD's assisted housing program. I understand that housing authorities that receive income information under this consent form cannot use it to deny, reduce, or terminate assistance without first independently verifying what the amount was, whether I actually had access to the funds, and when the funds were received. In addition, I must be given an opportunity to contest those determinations. This consent form expires 15 months after sign. Where it says head of household, I need you to sign and date it, social security number. Spouse, sign, date, social security number. Other family members over the age of 18 need to sign, date, and their social security number. We also have another form, which is also a release of information. I need you to date it, where it says I need you to print or write, sign or print your name. It says hereby authorize the following organizations to release information as specified below from my record as it pertains to me and or my family to TRO. Go all the way down to the bottom of the form where it says applicant and participant signature. I need you to sign it and date it. The next form that I have is an affidavit. This is to let you know that if you are the head of the household and you are unemployed, then I will need you to fill this form out. It says, this is to let you know that I am unemployed. My only source of income is child support, TANF, SSI, Social Security for another family member, contributions. If you have a family member that works and you would check that box, place their name and the place that they work at, then you will sign it and date it where it says applicant and tenant signature. Affidavit, this is for any family members or spouses 18 or older that do not work. This is to let you know that I am unemployed. I have no source of income. I am married to, full-time student, live with my parent, live with. Then sign it and date of applicant and tenant. The next form that you have is a child support verification form. Whether you receive child support or not, you will need to fill this form out. Please print your name at the top, the date. If you have any minor children or if you are receiving back child support for any adult child, then you will need to list their names and write the amount of child support that you receive. If you are elderly, if you do not have any minor children in your household, then you would need to put a big 0 on this form and a line through it. Please put your name and date at the top, a 0, and then sign it and date it at the bottom. If you have minor children, please list them, whether you receive child support or not. List their names where it says amount received. Please put a 0 if you do not receive child support. The next form that we have is called a citizenship form. It says here that notice to applicants and tenants, in order to be eligible to receive the housing assistance, each applicant for or recipient of housing assistance must be lawfully within the United States. Please read the declaration statement carefully and sign and return to the Housing Authority Admissions Office. Feel free to consult with an immigration lawyer or other immigration experts of your choosing. Where it says I would like for you to list every family member that is on your lease where it says I. Certify under penalty of perjury that to the best of my knowledge, I am lawfully within the United States because check the box up under that. I am a citizen by birth, naturalized citizen, a national of the United States. If you are not a citizen, please check the appropriate box that refers to your situation. Then all the way at the bottom, I would need you to sign it, signature of the family member and date it. And if you have any minors that you have listed above, I need you to check the box up under that saying, check the box if signature of adult residing in the unit is responsible for child named on the statement above. Thank you so much for your cooperation, and I would like to welcome you to the Twin Rivers Opportunity Section 8 program. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kanetta Jones. I am the occupancy specialist slash portability manager here at Twin Rivers Opportunities. And today I will be going over with you the information for your voucher. I will be going over portability for those who are eligible to port, the request for tenancy approval packet, aka the RTA packet, inspections, and the last and final thing I will touch briefly on the moving process for those who are not eligible to port, what you would need to do to be able to move after you've been in our jurisdiction for 1 full year. So to get started, we here at Twin Rivers Opportunities, we service 3 counties. We service Craven County, Jones County, and Pamlico counties. Um, we do our vouchers based on family composition. So what that means is regardless of sex and or age, for every 2 people in your household, you will be issued a voucher for 1 bedroom. Again, regardless of sex and or age, for every 2 people in your household, you will be issued a voucher for 1 bedroom. That does not mean that you have to all live in the same bedroom. We cannot tell you how to house your family. It's just that when we issue you your voucher, it is based off of the family composition versus the sex and age of your family members. So when you come to the office to pick up your voucher, as long as you've turned in all of the demographic paperwork that we require from you, birth certificates, social security cards, and photo IDs, once we issue your voucher, we would basically know what size voucher that you qualify for based on the information that you have turned in. So when you get your voucher, it will look something like this. The voucher number will already be pre-written up there. The unit size, again, we would have already determined what size voucher you qualify for based on the information that you have already turned in. The issuance date is the date that you actually come to the office and sign for your voucher. Our vouchers are issued for 120 days, which is the equivalent of 4 full months. So if you come to the office on August the 1st to pick up your voucher will not expire until December the 1st, which is the equivalent of 120 days or 4 full months. So that is boxes 2 and 3. Box number 5, we would have your name, the tenant's name, the head of household would be there, and then you would be required to sign in box number 6 in date. Box number 7 would be Twin Rivers Opportunities, and box number 8 is where we, the employees or caseworkers here at Twin Rivers, would have our name, signature, and we would have dated the voucher for you. So when you receive this voucher, this is what you use as proof that you are looking for a unit on the Section 8 program. So wherever you're going to find a unit, if the landlord states that they need proof that you have an active voucher, this is your proof. This is your copy of the voucher. So I would just advise that you show them this voucher and then keep it for your personal records. The next thing that I'm going to discuss is portability. So basically what portability is, it is for those who are wanting to take their voucher and take it to another housing authority anywhere in the United States of America that accepts Section 8. It will keep you from having to go through the waiting list because you already have a active Section 8 voucher. The only tenants at this time that are eligible to port out when they receive their voucher are those who signed up on our waiting list. At the time you signed up, you had to have been living in Craven, Jones, or Pamlico County. If you signed up outside of Craven, Jones, or Pamlico counties, you are ineligible to port until you have resided in our jurisdiction for 1 full year. So for those who are thinking about porting, who are eligible to port, because when you signed up on our waiting list, you were living in Craven Jones or Pamlico County, this is the portability request form that you would need to fill out and return to me in order for me to get the process started. Most of this information here is self-explanatory. You do have to provide me with the housing authority's name, the contact person, the phone number, and the fax number for where I need to send your paperwork. If they provide you with the email address, that is good, as well as the new housing authority's mailing address. The information here at the bottom, that is your information, the tenant. So once this form is filled out and returned to me, and I have all of your other documents that are required when we send out the letter, i.e. your income, birth certificate, social security card, and photo ID for everyone that's in your household that is required, then I will compile a packet and send it to the new housing authority where you're requesting to go, and then they will contact you and schedule you based on their rules and regulations, whether or not they do another briefing or however they decide to do it. Each housing authority has their own rules and regulations. They have their own guidelines. So it is up to that housing authority on how they proceed with accepting you into their program once I send them your paperwork. So for those who are not eligible to port and you are required to stay here in our jurisdiction for 1 full year, you will be handed a request for tenancy approval packet, which is our RTA packet. This is the packet that you will give to your landlord once you find your new unit. Excuse me. For those who are currently living in a unit and you want to stay where you are and your landlord is willing to accept the Section 8, that is perfectly fine. Just give the packet to the landlord, have them to fill it out. There are 2 areas that you, the tenant, are required to sign, which I will show you those 2 areas as we go through the video. But as long as your 2 areas are filled out and signed, most of the time the landlord will return this packet to our office, and that is perfectly fine because it does have their personal information in it. So I would just suggest that once you get your packet, that you go ahead and sign in those 2 areas that are required by you, the tenant. That way it prohibits or prevents you from having to come down to the office and sign due to your RTA packet not being completely filled out. So the first thing is you need to locate the housing of your choice. Again, number 2, contact the landlord, discuss all the information. Number 3, when this packet comes back to the office, it does need to come back with a signed proposed lease between you and your landlord. Number 4, we do require direct deposit information as well as property ownership information. We have to have proof that whoever you are renting your property from or leasing your property from, that they are the owners of that property. Number 5, all utilities have to be connected before we are able to do an inspection. I would highly suggest that before you decide on whether or not you are going to make a specific unit your home, to contact the electric company to see an average of what the bills would run for that particular home. That way you know ahead of time what it is that you're getting into when it comes to the utilities at that location. All right, so majority of this packet is the landlords. I would say maybe about 97% of this is the landlords, and the other 3% is the tenants, which is the 2 signature spots for you. But page 2 of the RTA packet, if the landlord has questions on how to submit a proposed lease or what they can and cannot charge you for, all of that information is listed here on page 2 of the RTA packet. Page number 3, we have included a checklist. I would highly suggest that you use this checklist and go through the unit top to bottom, left to right. Make sure everything is to your likings and to your standards, because again, once you're in this unit, you are stuck here for a minimum of 1 full year before you are eligible to move. So page 4 is where the signing of the RTA packet starts. Everything on the front of page 4 is the landlord's. Number 2 is the address of the unit. Number 3 is the date that they want your lease to start. Number 4 is the number of bedrooms. Number 5 is the year the unit was constructed, which is very important due to lead-based poisoning. Number 6 is the proposed rent. Number 7 is the security deposit. And just to let you all know, up front, we here at Twin Rivers, we do not do security deposits. It is up to you to make sure that your security deposit is paid. Number 8, the date that the unit will be available for inspection. Number 9, they're supposed to tell us what kind of unit it is, whether it's a mobile home, an apartment, a townhouse, so on and so forth. Number 11, they give us a description on how the home is furnished or heated, whether or not you have to pay your own water, trash, or sewer. So the back of page 5 is the first part that you sign. On the left-hand side is the landlord's information, where they're supposed to sign. On the right-hand side, your name will already be printed in this box here, but you are to fill out the bottom 3 boxes where you sign, put your address, phone number, and date. That is the first part of the RTA packet that you, the tenant, are required to sign. And again, that is on the back of page 5. Page number 6, this again is for the landlord. They're supposed to provide us with directions on how to get to the unit from our address here at 318 Craven Street to the new unit. Page number 7, landlord information, a couple of questions, whether or not it's a mobile home, when it will be ready for inspection, how they want their payments to go, so on and so forth. So again, this is for the landlord. The next page, the rental agent agreement. This page is for those who are renting properties through a third party, i.e. a rental agent or a management company, or if you're moving into an apartment complex because the landlord that's on site does not physically own that property, they're considered a rental agent. Or if you are renting a property from someone who does not live in Craven Jones or Pamlico County, they are required to have an agent that does live here in Craven Jones or Pamlico County. So for example, you're renting a home from someone that lives in Maryland, they have to have a local agent that lives here in Craven Jones or Pamlico County. So this is the form that they would be required to fill out. The next page is the second page that you, the tenant, are required to sign. This is our lease addendum for drug-related, violent, and other criminal activities. On the left-hand side, that is the landlord's signature. On the right-hand side, that is your signature of the tenant. So this is the second page that you are required to sign. The rest of this is basically for the landlord. The next page is their W-9, where they provide us with their information for tax purposes. And then the last page of the RTA packet is the direct deposit information. They can either attach a copy of a voided check here, or they can write their information in and sign and date it. But this is the packet that we need back at the office in order to schedule an inspection for your new unit. For inspections, someone over the age of 18 does need to be home. Most of the time, the landlords will be there. If not the landlord, then it can either be the head of household or someone in the family that is over the age of 18 years old. For those tenants who live in public housing or live in subsidized housing that receive funding from HUD, you would have to be completely moved out of your unit before we are eligible to schedule you for an inspection. We here at Twin Rivers, we pay the day your unit passes inspection. So if you are currently living in the projects or low income housing, we cannot schedule you for an inspection due to all of us receiving funding from HUD. So in order for us to get you put in our system where you're living, they would have to move you out of their system in order for us to schedule you for an inspection. So I would like to let those who are currently living in public housing or subsidized housing let you know ahead of time that you would have to be completely moved out of your unit and bring us proof that they have removed you from their system in order for us to schedule you for an inspection here at Twin Rivers to get you put up in our system. And then the last thing is movers. Once you have been on our program for a year, you are eligible to move. As Ms. Worthington has shared with you, all of our forms until we open fully back up are located outside. And the form that you would need to fill out is the notice to vacate. All notice to vacates have to be turned in by the 5th of a month in order for us to end your contract the end of the following month. So for instance, if you're wanting to move out by the end of September, we would need your notice to vacate here at the office by the 5th of August in order for us to start the process to get you out of your unit by the end of September. If it is not turned in by the 5th, then unfortunately, we would not be able to end your contract the end of September. You would have to wait an additional month for us to start the process for you to be able to move. So that concludes my part of the briefing. If you have any further questions or concerns, you can contact Tara Bailey. Her phone number is area code 252-637-0377. Thank you, and you all have a wonderful day.